talking about both the undergraduate and graduate programs. And we may have a few more people join us, but if you could just write in the chat which program you're interested in, so we can make sure to spend possibly more time if if it's just you, Alyssa, today on that program. But my name is Dalila Amirbashic. I am the program director for Humanities and Social Sciences. And we're joined today by Dr. Sakaria Vester, who is the Associate Program Director for Humanities and Social Sciences, as well as Ian Conlon, who's our admissions webinar guru, and who has also been in our MLA program as well. So thank you for joining us today. All right, so Tulane SOPA is one of 10 schools that make up Tulane University. Our school is unique because it is designed to serve working adults. So most of our students are working adults. Our average age is 28. But we are part of the broader Tulane University. We have access to the same resources, the libraries, all the faculty, and there's quite a bit of collaboration, particularly with the School of Liberal Arts, with Humanities and Social Sciences. And we're located uptown on Tulane's Uptown campus. We are in Richardson Hall, and you're welcome to stop by and join us whenever you are on campus. We have student spaces, so if you want to come and join us and hang out, there are spaces where you can hang out, do your work, and also join us for events that we host throughout the year. And the most important thing is that you have access to Tulane programs, access to our amazing faculty, and then when you graduate, you earn a Tulane degree. So today we will be talking about specifically the Humanities and Social Sciences program, focusing on the different programs that we offer, as well as our amazing faculty. We will share a little bit about the learning experience, the student support services that we provide, as well as the affordability and flexibility of our programs. And we'll start by talking about our faculty. We have a broad range of faculty who are all experts in their various fields. They're super passionate about teaching, also super passionate about working with students who are not traditional age students. And a lot of them have actually had the experiences of being working adults or working students. Here are some of the faculty that are in our program. We have Mike Kosinski, who teaches in the English department, and he primarily teaches in our MLA program. Melinda Nelson-Hurst is an Egyptologist. And if you are not an Egyptology nerd, you will become one after taking some of our classes. Lauren Lucarilla teaches a lot of our writing courses. She focuses on strategies in academic reading and writing, as well as intercultural communication courses. Professor Bob Boudreau teaches our introductory writing courses, as well as intro to poetry. And then we also have Dr. Sakaria Vester, who is joining us today as well, and she teaches courses in sociology primarily. So I will let Dr. Vester introduce herself and share a little bit about the courses that she teaches.
All right, thank you, Dr. Amirbashic. I'm Sukari Ivester. I am a sociologist. I got my PhD from the University of Chicago many years ago now at this point. But I'm also an urban planner. I actually recently received an urban planning degree from the University of New Orleans. And so I'm one of these professors that knows the battle, right? Sometimes the dual needs of both having a job and working at the same time. But these are the folks that we are trying to serve. And so just know that we are here to support you in that endeavor. Um, Most of my courses actually deal with inequality to some degree. And as a sociologist, I like to sort of think about not just studying inequality for inequality's sake, but actually studying it so that we can figure out ways to make the world a better place. So I really sort of emphasize the ways that we can try to alleviate some of the problems that we find in the social world. And Alyssa, I noticed that you mentioned that you were sort of slightly leaning towards social sciences. And so I'm happy, in the end, to answer any specific questions that you might have about the social sciences or sociology, which is I'm a sociologist specifically, but I actually do teach the introduction to social sciences course. We have a course called the Foundations of Social Science that we really sort of look at all of the social sciences as a whole and really sort of try to understand their interconnections. So, from sociology, obviously, to anthropology, we look at history, economics, we look at psychology, which also actually sort of straddles the social sciences and the natural sciences, demography, things like that. And so political science. And so I'd be really happy if you have any specific questions around, the social sciences that I can answer. So do you want me to go to the next slide? Oh, I sort of already spoke to this, but this is a quote that we sometimes as faculty members were asked questions, and this was sort of the question was, why do you teach? And my response was that I teach so that students will be better prepared to examine society through critical lenses and ultimately mitigate social inequality through advocacy, practice, or research. So, not that we're all going to necessarily go get PhDs and be doing research, but just the exposure to sort of the ideas around inequality and understanding that we can all sort of play even a very small role in mitigating, I think is an important way to sort of approach the world. Next slide. So as far as the programs of study, like I said, Alyssa, and I'm happy to talk about either one, but the humanities and social sciences, we have BAs in you either get a BA in humanities or a BA in the social sciences. And as I've already sort of described, it's very much an interdisciplinary perspective. In terms of the social sciences, there's an interest in sort of studying both social structures and the connection between social relationships and what we do in the world, our practices. And so I am all about sort of skill acquisition. I think I think that's one of the sort of, reading theory and, all that is very nice. But I'm very keen on skill acquisition. And so one of the things that I think we really do well here is sort of the strengthening of critical thinking, working on sort of communication, both written and oral, but really sort of in terms of writing skills, we're not always feeling as confident as we could around our writing. And I like to just emphasize that writing is a skill. Yes, there are very talented writers, but I really come from the school that says that writing is a skill, and just like any other skill, needs to be honed, needs to be practiced, and once you do that, you're really able to excel. And so I actually sort of work on writing. I was trained to actually work on writing within the context of sociology. A lot of people think that writing should just happen in English, but I was sort of trained to think about writing within the discipline of sociology. And so I think it's one of the really important sort of pieces of skill acquisition that you can get from us here at SOPA, and obviously very transferable into your work life. And then we have tremendous flexibility. I'm not sure where you are, Alyssa, but I have students from Chicago to California. I had one in LA in the spring. And so that's the other thing that I think that we can offer you is the flexibility that comes both in terms of geographic flexibility, but also sort of flexibility, like I said, because we're so used to working with a population that may be working full time at the same time that they're trying to finish their degree. So just know that's sort of where we're coming from in terms of supporting you in your program study. Next slide. And then I'm not sure, I think you're an undergraduate student, I'm not sure. But we also have the Masters of Liberal Arts. So if you're thinking about continuing on, the Master of Liberal Arts is sort of the sort of master's component of the Humanities and Social Science program. It's very much an interdisciplinary, okay, perfect, thanks, Alyssa. It's very much an interdisciplinary degree and really focuses on sort of thinking about the human perspective, but again, from a multiplicity of it's interdisciplinary academic perspectives. So the MLA is really cool because you can really individualize your program of study based on your specific interests and your professional goals. And so there's 10 courses. There's a capstone, sort of this finishing component that really sort of ties your program together. So there's offerings from history, literature, philosophy, political science, sociology, and maybe even a couple more. But again, you also, as a graduate student, have access to graduate level courses across the university and the other schools. So there's tremendous flexibility in tailoring your program for exactly what your needs are. Next. All right, so I can go pass back to Dalila.
All right. So I will talk a little more about our bachelor's degrees. Just like the MLA, our bachelor degrees are also super flexible and highly individualized. So you have the opportunity to really focus in on the areas of interest. As Professor Vester mentioned, we have 2 degrees, bachelor's in humanities and the social sciences. Our humanities degree majors engage in interdisciplinary study of fields such as English literature, religious studies, linguistics, music, visual and performing arts, theater, philosophy, while our social sciences students focus on fields such as anthropology, geography, Latin American studies, sociology, political science, and other related fields. Both degrees have a requirement of 120 credits total, where 30 of those credits are coming from your major. Next slide. And one thing to also mention is that our undergraduate degrees also have a capstone component. So once you complete your first 9 courses in your major, you will then take a capstone, which allows you to bring everything together and then also think about what you're planning on doing next. So whether it's professional career change, professional development, graduate school, the capstone allows you to make the connections between what you've done in the program and where you want to go next. So it's very applied, it's reflective, it allows you the opportunity to think about all of the skills, those critical thinking skills and writing and communication that you've developed in the program and see how those can apply to your future interests. One thing that's unique about SOPA is our learning experience. We offer courses both on ground and online. Our online courses are highly interactive, they're super engaging. And they're all developed with the support of our learning design and development team. So they're designed in such a way that is best suited for taking classes online. So it's very different than, for example, more kind of traditional older style online courses, which were, taking, your own ground class and just putting it on Zoom. These classes are actually designed with the intention of learning online. So they're more engaging. There's a lot more different opportunities for collaboration and interaction with faculty and other students. Our courses also are generally applied in the sense that a lot of classes offer relevant topics that are mimicking real world scenarios, or actually asking you to go out in the real world and participate and learn from different activities in your area. And we have, like I said, both on-ground and online classes, so you have opportunities to take classes in whatever way suits your schedule and interest or location. And most of our students are building a foundation of skills and knowledge that is highly transferable to a wide range of careers. So if you're, for example, focusing on sociology classes in your social sciences major, unless you're going to grad school, chances are you're not going to be a sociologist. But through those experiences, you're developing really critical skills that you can apply to a range of careers. So we see that with a lot of our alumni who have positions in a range of fields, from business and education to nonprofit management, public policy, consulting, as well as writing. So because of the skills that you're developing, because they're so relevant to professional settings, you are prepared to enter a range of careers after graduation. And now I will pass it on to Anne, who will talk about student support and success.
Thank you, Dalila. And thank you for joining us today, Alyssa. So I'm going to talk a bit about our student support and success here at Tulane SOFA. So really we see, the start of our relationship is right here with the admissions process. We're here for you throughout the admissions process. But while you're a student here, you have incredible support, an incredible team with you the entire way through graduation. So you will be assigned an academic advisor. So there's an academic advisor specifically who advises for the humanities and social sciences programs. And as we were discussing earlier, our faculty are really an incredible wealth of information and contacts and networking, because our faculty, work in a variety of, they have the real life experience, and they're here to support you as well. And then of course, once you graduate, you're already part of the Tulane family, but you'll also be part of the Tulane alumni network. So it will open up a lot of doors. We also have a career advisor here at SOPA, and she's great. She does webinars. She meets with students and does mock interviews. She can help you with your resume, your LinkedIn. And yeah, so we are here for you as a student. All right, and I know that you mentioned, so we also pride ourselves in being a very transfer-friendly school. And I know you mentioned you are at Delgado right now. We do have we have an agreement with Delgado, so really helps streamline that transfer process. But really all of those courses that you've already taken, once we receive your transcript and evaluate it, you can transfer up to 60 credits is the maximum credits that you can transfer in for the undergraduate. And, in addition to that, we have other scholarships. We do have a transfer scholarship that amounts to 1,500. We'll go over that a bit later. But in that blue box at the end there, the 36,820, that gives you an idea of the out-of-pocket costs to complete your bachelor's degree here at Tulane. All right. Dalila, would you like to speak a bit about credit for prior learning?
Yeah, I can talk about
Please.
that. Yeah. Hi, so I am also the coordinator for prior learning here at SOPA as well. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out afterwards. And we should also have another webinar that just focuses specifically on this. But basically, we have different opportunities that allow students to earn credit for previous experiences or through assessment. So credit for prior learning for undergraduate students can be awarded for work experience, community service, and military training. And undergraduate students can earn up to 24 credits through prior learning assessment. As mentioned, this can be in the form of a portfolio, which allows you to talk about your experiences in relation to a particular class that we offer. So that's one form of assessment, but there are also standardized tests that you can take that would transfer in as credit for some introductory courses. And then also things like language proficiency assessment, military training, can also be counted towards prior learning. One thing to note, though, is that if you are transferring 60 credits, you would not be able to earn credit through prior learning assessment because this form of credit counts towards that 60 credit maximum. But if you're transferring in, say, 48 credits, then you would be eligible to earn another 12 through prior learning assessment.
Thank you so much, Dalila. All right, and here I'll talk a bit about our tuition and affordability and other scholarship and discount options for you. So for fall 2024, we're now doing tuition, so it's showing you the full price of the class, not per credit. So to take one course at the undergraduate level, that will be $1,926. And then for graduate tuition, that will be $3,738 per course for fall 2024. And that we encourage students to, to do their FAFSA. When you become a student, you will be assigned to a financial aid advisor in Tulane's Office of Financial Aid, so they can help you with that process. And as another sort of savings, as we were talking, as Dalila was explaining, our credit for prior learning, that's a savings. And we also have that $1,500 transfer student scholarship, which sounds like this would be an option for you, Alyssa. We also, as a way to get students to apply and register for classes early, we also offer a one-time $200 early enrollment scholarship. Also, if you're a Phi Theta Kappa member of the Honor Society, PTK, we also offer a $3,000 scholarship. And then on On the right side, you can see our 20% tuition discounts. So that includes, and you can only claim one 20% tuition discount. So that's for active duty military and veterans, alumni of Tulane, minorities serving institutions and HBCUs, active and retired federal, state, and local emergency services and law enforcement employees, PTK members, K through 12 instructional staff, Louisiana state and local government employees, adults over the age of 60, and SOPA professional and partnership agencies. All right, and so our application is pretty straightforward. There's the link at the bottom there. So we do have an application fee. However, since you're so kindly attending our webinar today, we are waiving that fee. So I do that from my end. There's no code or anything you need to put into the system. It will just automatically be waived for you. You'll need to upload a government issued ID. So that could be a driver's license, a passport, anything like that. So your transcripts from any previous institution, you'll have to get that sent electronically, or in a sealed envelope, but they really, it's been very nice that we're online now with the transcripts that can be done electronically. So, and with Delgado, as I was mentioning, we have an agreement. So this may be even more streamlined than that. So, and here we have some of our deadlines, that early enrollment scholarship. So that's if you apply. So we just passed the early enrollment scholarship for the fall semester. But the application deadline for fall is August 1st. So we encourage you to apply now. And then you can see for spring semester, if you're looking ahead, application deadline is January 1st. The early enrollment scholarship deadline for spring semester is December 1. And for the summer semester, we have the application deadline is May 1st, early enrollment scholarship, April 25th. And we do have rolling admission. So if you're planning ahead, you can start your application now if you're looking at spring or summer of next year. And that's why that early enrollment scholarship, we encourage you to just apply, get admitted and registered for classes, and you can save some money that way. All right, so we thank you for joining us today, and the floor is open for questions as well.
Hi, can everyone hear me all right? Okay, well, first, I just wanted to thank everyone for taking the time out your day just for little old me. Now, okay, so I am an undergraduate. I've only been taking classes at Delgado since January, and I've been doing them online. And I'm actually moving to New Orleans on August 1st to take in-person classes, but I'm not exactly sure of what classes I should be taking that will help to set me up for success later down on the line.
So if you go on our website, let me see if I can find the link. We should have, or maybe we can just email it to you after this call, probably faster. But we do have transfer guides for Delgado students, so that would probably be super helpful, which will let you know kind of the ideal courses that you should be taking that will transfer into SOPA. So it outlines sort of the English classes you need, the math classes, social sciences, humanities, So we can send you a copy so that you can kind of have an idea of how things would transfer.
Great, thank you. Oh, here it is right there.
There's
I
one.
went ahead and put it in the chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then more of like, I guess, sociology related questions. Now I know I said that I was leaning more towards social sciences, but once you talked about the slide, I think I'm more interested in humanities. I have very much an artistic side, so you kind of won me over with that. And I've always loved to learn about it, but I'm really not exactly sure of what type of career paths or grad schools. Like just I know Tulane has a great social work grad school that I was looking into. But is there anything specifically for sociology?
In terms of graduate school, you mean? Or
Yes.
well, absolutely. I mean, if you're thinking about graduate school in sociology, there are lots of options. I mean,
I mean, does Tulane specifically have a program?
yes, specifically in sociology, yes. So here at SOPA, we are interdisciplinary degree, master's degree in the social sciences is a master's degree in liberal arts. It's an MLA. But if I don't know, and if it's possible back to that slide with the schools, there we mentioned that we are one of the schools, and the School of Liberal Arts, which is the school that Dr. Omar Basic mentioned that we probably sort of coordinate with the most. The School of Liberal Arts, if you look, we're the School of Professional Advancement. You mentioned social work as a possible interest. That's a special school. That's its own individual school. And then if you look directly across that diagram is the School of Liberal Arts. And the School of Liberal Arts does have PhDs, and I think you can get a master's degree in sociology specifically over there. But that would not be in SOPA, that would be in the School of Liberal Arts, which is a totally different school with a completely different cost structure. So nothing that you heard here, all those discounts and all that would be sort of that $3,000 per course. None of that is holds for the School of Liberal Arts, but it would be in the School of Liberal Arts that you would find specifically PhD and like I said, believe MA programs in for specifically for sociology. And SOPA we don't have PhDs in SOPA. We go up to the master's level, and that for our in the social sciences and humanities program is specifically a master's of liberal arts. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
I think the only other question I had was just about like the length of degree programs. I know y'all mentioned that it's incredibly flexible, but just I guess just time periods. Is summer courses available to speed up the process?
Yeah, you can. It's really it really depends on your schedule. So we have folks that take like 1 or 2 classes a semester, and they take a few years beyond the kind of the 4-year standard. And then we have others who really, take 5 classes a semester, and you can take spring, fall, and summer classes. So it really depends on your availability, how many classes you can take. So it really ranges from a few years to some slower pace programs. I mean, paths.
Yeah, I have a
Okay.
student right now who is she's a retired service member, and so she served in the Navy for like 21 years, and now she's a student, and so she's retired, and so she's got the time to put in 3-4 classes. Even in summer, she did 3 classes, and so even though it hasn't been that much time, she's going to be looking at finishing probably within 3 years, because like I said, she's got the time to put it in. So it all like Dr. Omar Bassi said, it's all about the time that you are able and how much time you can reasonably fit into your
Right.
schedule for taking classes.
Well, I think that's all the questions that I had. Again, I wanted to thank y'all so much for taking the time just for me. Tulane has been a big dream school of mine, but I didn't really know about the SOPA program until a college fair at Delgado. So I really do love learning all about the different options and opportunities that y'all have.
Oh, Alyssa, that's good to know. I may have met you at that fair.
Oh, it's a good possibility.
When was it?
This was, I want to say in
Spring?
April.
Yes, or our colleague Hope Anderson.
Yes, I believe it was Miss Hope.
Oh, yes. Well, we're so glad you joined us today. Thank you so much. And also our Dalila and Professor Investor's contact details are here. So reach out to us with any questions you have.
Feel free.
Thank you all again. I really do appreciate it.
And I did put that link. I wanted to make sure before we go that you got that link for the
Yes.
transfer, because it's gonna go away once we end our meeting. But I want to make sure you got that link for the transfer guide for Delgado.
Yes, I got
All
it.
right.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, thanks so much, Alyssa.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care. Quick question, and I
Yeah.
had to. It just held me up for a minute, but I had to register. Is that